All right. Uh, it's the time, middle of the week. Thanks for taking the time. This shows actually like that commitment towards that we want to give some time to grow ourselves, learning the new technologies that are coming. So today there are two tracks actually we are planning to introduce. GenAI 101 that we went through like two cohorts already. In various forums, multiple people reached out and asked for like, can we do like one more Gen A 101 cohort? So this is Gen A 101 cohort 3, as well as AI, ML, and Gen AI for the high schoolers. There are two tracks. This orientation covers both of those. We have the instructor. Instructor is going to talk about what the instructor is going to cover in both the tracks. So before we go, so briefly about the tech club. Uh, the tech club, it contains actually like the various tracks. If you are actually a member, so we have like a weekly sessions and in a group settings where we do like a system design practice, we do like the behavioral and leadership practice, and also we do coding practice. So on a need basis, on a one-on-one basis, we have like a mentorship, mock interviews, and career guidances. And we have for the community, we have like a club offsites and a GenAI core series, right? So whatever we are running now, GenAI, you are seeing that this falls under this track. So, and some of you have joined offsites. That actually you would have seen like the club offsites. Otherwise, like if you want to be a member, you get like the additional benefits of all of these. So this is for members and this is for members in the community. So offsites and the GenAI course. So if you want to be a member and if you want to reach out to someone, so these are the team who actually like handles the behind the scenes all the activities. So Shanti, she is the VP of membership for this club, and she handles like all the membership related things. So if you want to become a member, she's the first point of contact that you should reach out. So along with that, you can reach out to like Shravanti. Shravanti is VP of operations, and Visu, he's a coding lead track. So we have a coding track. He's a lead for that. And Manoj is the Gen AI lead. So Manoj is unwell, so he couldn't join today. But for any Gen AI related, whether it is for high schoolers or for like the 101 track, so Manoj is the point of contact you can reach out. So even though we have like a dedicated contacts, you can reach out to anyone. So we are all the officers are ready to help you all. So while this is the team, so these are the founders. I'm Srinivas. So I'm one of the founder. My co-founders are like Srinath and Srinath is there, and the other co-founder is Veera. So Veera is not there in the call, but we are the founders. So you can reach out to any of these seven people. If you have any questions or you want to become a member or like you have a clarifications, anything needed, feel free to reach out to us. So before we open up for the track, so we have like a Rising Stars, right? So this is actually like in collaboration with Rising Stars, we are doing this club, Gen A track. So Deepti, you want to talk about Rising Stars?
Yeah. Hey, hello everybody. Most of you, I believe, know me. I am the lead for VSF lead for Rising Stars, which is mainly focused towards youth and children development. Every year we conduct a lot of opportunities and also provide platform for the kids to showcase themselves, learn, grow, build, and bond together. This year, in the last 1 year, less than 1 year, we've done a business fair and we've done multiple talent showcases, like dances and skits in various BSF events. And we've also done Valentine's cards for seniors. And we every year we also recognize graduates. We'll be doing it this year also. Kids who've graduated from colleges and high school. And other than that, we have an exciting summer camp, which is also coming up in less than a month. If you haven't already registered your children, I totally encourage you to do so and not miss this opportunity. It is for specifically elementary and middle school kids, taught by our VSF high school kids. Yep. So without further ado, I'd again pass it on to Srinivas. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepti. So the instructor. So Luis Tikas, I don't think like he requires introduction in our community. So he has done like three cohorts already. We had like 101 twice we had, and then 102 we already have, and two more cohorts like we are planning now. So briefly about Luis, he's actually like a data science professional with 10 plus years of experience in AI, data analytics, and leadership. So he has like extensive hands-on experience in ML ops, CI/CD pipeline, advanced RAG, AI agents like React, Cod. So with this, Luis brings like a wealth of knowledge in both strategic planning and technical implementation. He also holds like a Master of Management Analytics from the Queen's University, and he is currently a professor at Durham College where he teaches analytics. He also passionate about mentoring and developing the next generation of AI professionals like us, right? So he's very passionate about it. And this clearly shows, sometimes I ask Louis, like, how is he getting the time? He teaches in a university and he works, and at the same time, like, he's happy to help the community and provide the trainings for all of us, right? So with that, so Luis, over to you.
All right. Hey, Srinivas. Hey, community. How's it going? It's been a little. Some of you I seen from the other cohort, so welcome back. And for the new faces, welcome. My name's Luis. As Srinivas was just talking about, we sort of in our over third cohort class. So we really have really great results. Everyone seems to be really satisfied at the end of what they've learned. I go deep into technical knowledge, but not too deep that people get lost and bring it back to show actual applications. And I think that's the most important part. Based off this orientation, we're going to first focus on the youth. This is the one that we'll be presenting right now, and then we'll go over to the GenAI 101 course after. So as you know, AI has been changing and a lot, and things have been accelerating a lot. And just in March 2025, Sam Altman said is before it was really good to be good at using AI tools, right? So back in the day, you used to be like, okay, get good at coding and that's all you need. So now it's been involved to actually get to know AI tools, and this is the new version of that, and that's what Sam Altman says. And obviously now we see that the president has signed a declaration that everyone starting from K-12 below to start developing a curriculum for AI and get that into the schooling. So if this is, sorry if you're speaking up, but if you have any questions, remember to you can put them in the chat or you can put your hand up and we'll be able to respond to them as quick as possible. So because of these changes, this could mean that this changes in AI impact could happen next year, could be happening in 2 years, 3 years. What we really want to do is to teach now, right? If we're able to teach education of AI and get them as fast as possible to the youth, and this is something I'm really passionate about teaching and helping others, how can we keep improving the AI literacy? So when it does come, or maybe these students have now graduated, they don't miss out on opportunities of learning AI as quick as possible because we know it's going to only boom from here. So one, we know that AI is transforming careers. So it's not about what you know, it's what you know plus AI. I see it on the work field that people are learning to accelerate. So the biggest thing I'm finding is that AI won't be taking jobs. It's people who know and how to use AI will be the ones benefiting from this the most. Traditional skills are evolving, like I said before. Not knowing your industry and knowing things are probably just not enough now. Understanding AI is now foundational. A lot of businesses are requiring that you come in and will have you have you vibe coded before? Have you built a POC quickly, right? These are things now that as people are getting more deeper into AI, they're asking these people coming in. And the reason why we want to empower these students, so when they come and they get to time to actually get a job and look for maybe furthering their education, they have an early exposure to AI, to statistics, actually understanding what's behind it rather than just really the prompting that's happening to an AI, and find ways to enhance that readiness and opportunities. So why this course and why not something you can find on Udemy and find something else? In the classes, you've got to actually interact with someone who actually does real world AI work as myself, be able to ask questions and try to ask things more practical. Usually in these Udemy courses, they're online. You have to sit and watch do the courses, and we know that our attention spans aren't that focused and simply just watching videos and doing them as well, right? So along some interaction, I try to probably do some gamification as well to get the students more engaged. But the point is having someone to answer real life questions and not be able to throw a question to a chat responsibly for our instructor to return back to you a response. On the next slide, please. So how I'm thinking about this is 3 steps. I teach our teachers, we'll talk about this in GenAI 101. I go very high level here, and then our GenAI 101 course, we get deeper into it. But how we want to do is build a strong foundation. AI is a subset of data science. So really going back to what is data science and how we can make that more feasible and understanding. Of course, we know there's a lot of college level math and college level statistics that go into this, but how can we draw a baseline that they can start saying, oh, the reason why this happens is because of this, or it's because of this theory that this happens, right? Understanding definitions, understanding the theories, understanding of how this is happening, right? And the students must come in with sort of a basic Python because we'll be running some basic Python code for them to understand. But they'll be using that for the next course, which would be the machine learning class. So once you understand the good foundation of where the statistics come from, the math of why, again, the whole crucial part of that baseline is from data science, the why we do this, how we do this. So when we go with the practical application of machine learning, it's not simply just pressing play on the code and that's it. It's actually understanding the real business output that comes from it. Hey, you can run a linear regression. What does that mean? How would that benefit a company? How would that benefit understanding previous transactions and correlations? So understanding a little bit more about statistics, understanding the more of the why is really the point of that machine learning. Once you have a solid foundation of, hey, this is what happens, this is the business application, here, this is what machine learning, then and then we go that last track, which is Gen AI, which is understanding the architectures and AI models out there available. So again, we know that there's a bunch of children coding one where they have people just doing prompting and things like that, but we actually want to take a step back and say, hey, if we actually cut open an LLM model, how does that inside look like, right? So I'm really thinking about doing like a 3D model in which the students can interact, take apart, put together in something a little more interactive in which they can understand more of how the systems work for this. Go to the next slide, please. Okay, so again, I think I already talked about this part. So why choose this course? Again, I'll be guiding it from those who have taken GenAI 101 in the past or 102. Learn more about the practical applications rather than just pressing play on coding, asking real questions. And I try to, again, do some gamifications to get the students involved and try to capture their interest as much as possible. The next slide, please. So again, I think we talked about a little bit about before, but how does that structure and roadmap work for them? Again, is that core foundation? What is the core mathematics and statistics? The reason why we're doing this? Understand data literacy. What are something called matrices? How they work, and in introductions to definitions like regression and what they can actually do. So I'll try to map it to something that they know that's very familiar. Maybe it could be shows, maybe things that are happening in pop culture, maybe it could be social media, whatever they use, and how that can be used on a real basis. Python Essentials is something that should be already known. So again, I'm not going to be teaching Python. That would take the whole course if I were to teach Python. So they should have some basic Python essentials. What we could do is I'll provide maybe some YouTube videos, things like that. If it's been a while since they've been coding, so they can get quickly caught up to the machine learning fundamentals in which we'll be applying the code. and understanding what it does rather than just pressing play. And again, that's my whole point is that, and most of these courses provide you the code snippets. You can just press play and you just go through and walk through it, but you're not really capturing and ingesting and knowing what's happening. I solely just want to break it down for them to understand, hey, if you actually change this online, it could change the outcome, and really sort of break that hands-on application. Once we understand how machine learning works, then we switch to, hey, machine learning is actually a built step from AI and how the whole AI architecture is actually built from these machine learning models as well, and simply build on that. And again, in the end, I want them to actually build something that's fun for them, whether it being a pizza bot that they're ordering, or is it something they want to be answered, something fun, or even an image generator, something that they can play around with. So again, this is something that, again, I really want the students to be really involved and actually learn something so they can actually use this and build and apply and build on these courses. Next slide, please. So this one to go a bit more into the foundation. So again, I told you about the reason why, like I said before, some of them are going to be college-based theories and symbols, but again, I won't go that deep into the theory. They just need to understand what is precision, probably teach by images, what is recall, how these predictions actually affect machine learning models, and how you need to sort of optimize for one or the other. So don't be thinking that this is going to be too advanced, we go over their heads. And again, I'll be trying to do the best examples I can, like false positives, false negatives, and different things like that to show them what performance metrics are and understanding what's really the bases are for that. So that module one is about having them that sort of build that baseline of, hey, when you run something, this is what you get for your accuracy. What does that mean? Now they'll know the definitions from this module. Next slide, please. Next one, like I said before, learning the fundamentals of machine learning. So again, you can see here that we're looking at, for example, the image, how to do a regression on gas emissions. But what does that mean? There's a line with a bunch of dots. What does that mean? What is the what is the coefficient? What are the intercepts? And why is that important? Why do they need to know that? And how can it actually really benefit them? So identifying, they can use this to identify spam emails, identify different things as well. All right, so the last one I said before is the generative AI introduction, which they can use and look at the models and really dissect it. So this is something that we do in GenAI 101, but we go over this over 1 week and sort of we go over it within an hour and a half. So it's a lot of concepts to go through in a GenAI 101. But since we're a little bit older, those who are individuals are able to break it down, look back at the video, replay it. But and this one for this one, this would be a focused probably 1 or 2 classes strictly on each section. Like I said before, it's grabbing an A model and chopping in half and actually looking at the insights from this.
Orientation.
Could you please mute? All right, the next slide, please. So again, how I'm gonna, for the students, it's a little different from how I run the adults because again, I can't sit in front of a PowerPoint and speak to the youth a little bit more than I could with adults. So again, when I go for these through these things, only 50% will only be me talking. The other 40% will have to be breakout discussions, assignments, and collaborative exercises. This is how they actually will get more information of doing rather than just hearing. So again, the presentation of this will be completely different from GenAI 101. It's more about having those discussions and doing some quick assignments and be able to ask a live teacher at the same time how to work on these functions. Next slide. So what do these students need to do in order to be successful? Again, attend if they're doing the weekly class or they're doing the accelerated class. Participation is really necessary. I know sometimes it's hard. We turn off all the cameras and we listen. But again, raising your hand up, asking questions is really important for this. There is going to be some things to study about on the free time. So again, AI is huge and so many things are accelerating, happening every single day. So again, my job is to help them and to understand a little bit more from that side. So again, collaborate, ask questions. If they're stuck on homeworks, again, we still have that WhatsApp group to collaborate and ask questions and have fun. And that's the most important part of this course is not to overwhelm them, but to have them show that AI is actually fun and be how they can actually use it to accelerate many different things. All right, I think that's the... end of the slide there.
Yeah, so in this actually like we are taking two options. One is actually like a summer camp, it's an intensive learning. The option two is like a weekend learning. This is actually like a summer camp is like a 6 weeks packed and the three modules that Louis spoke. Each one is like a 2 weeks. So the schedule is going to be like 2 hours sessions. If it is a summer camp, 3 times a week, 2 hour session, which is going to be like 36 hours and 6 office hours. Every week there will be 1 office hour and that's going to be 36 hours plus 6 hours. So the start date for the summer camp is like 16th June 2025 and Monday, Wednesday, Thursdays at 3 p.m. PST. And the cost is, if it is a full program, you're registering 300, or if you are having like a summer plans and you want to say like I don't need all three modules, you may be interested on one of the module, so then it's going to be per module or per track is going to be like 100. So if it is a weekend learning, this is actually like we want to start after summer is over. That is going to be 17th August. And it's going to be only on Sundays at 5 p.m. PST. So that is going to be like per subsession or per track, it's $100. So one is actually like the intensive fast track in a summer. Other is like a slow paced, which goes for like pretty much 18 weeks. Each one is 6 weeks, three modules, 6 times 3, 18 weeks. The idea is like we will run summer camp if we have like a minimum participation that we get. We are looking at like 10 to 15 as the minimum number. If we get that, we will actually start the summer camp. Otherwise, like the summer camp, we will actually cancel it. So the first what we want is like for us to complete our planning, complete your registration and payment, secure your spot by 31st May. So that way we know like did we receive like a minimum participation that we want for this program, so we can let you know by 1st June. Okay. Any questions? Form details, form has all the details of payment details, gel and PayPal IDs, everything is updated in the form. And this is the form. Okay, so the form link we'll share in the chat, and also like it's there in the flyer. When we shared the flyer, it has the form link. So yeah, before we go to the adults one, so any questions on the tracks perspective or in a program perspective, Louis and I are happy to help.
Oh, I have a question. So 3 tracks means each track in summer will be done in 2 weeks.
That's right. So here we have, yeah, these are the 3 tracks. Statistics and data science, 2 weeks, machine learning, 2 weeks, generative AI introduction, 2 weeks. Yeah. The 6 weeks program, we are condensing it into like 2 weeks by doing 3 classes in a week.
So these 3 classes is including the 1 office hours, right? So 2 classes are 1 office hours or 3 classes.
So it will be 7 hours in total. So 2 hours for each class, 2, 4, 6, and plus 1 office hour, 7 hours. So it'll be 7 hours a week. This office hour is optional. If they have questions you want to do with homework, or they go from there.
Okay,
Hey,
there's
Louis.
it. Go ahead, Shushma.
Yeah, it's Nagesh. How are you guys doing? Thanks for arranging this. This is super helpful to know the content and things like that. I had a question related to the ML stuff. So do you think that the depth of the program is going to be enough, and the breadth of it in terms of like classification, regression, and then if there is like CNN and those kind of things, are they going to learn? Those are more time is needed for that. Any accommodations can be done on those aspects.
Yeah, for sure. So my main principal concern, or main principal what I want to teach is more of the normal classification models. The neural networks will take more time because those would have to get deeper into statistics and things like that. And again, we won't be able to have time to teach them that level of mathematics or statistics at this time because again, let's go deeper into statistical theories. But if there is if there is someone like, hey, I want to learn more about what neural networks are, CNNs, neural networks, etc., we can take one office hour that we have, and then we can do a deep dive on that topic with the students. If everyone's really interested in wants to learn about a topic that's outside that scope, we can definitely take an office hour and go into that and understand what you can do with that and how the neural networks are part of Gen AI.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Any other questions?
Srinivas, I had one question.
Go ahead.
So the form that we received, the summer camp said it was 4 weeks, but I think this is the updated one, right? That we need to look into.
Oh, is it saying 4 weeks? Okay, then yeah, we need to update the form probably.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a 6 weeks is the program. Yeah.
I see. And yeah, the pricing, everything needs to be updated because if people are looking into that and paying, it is incorrect. The form has
Yeah,
different
yeah, sure.
information.
Yeah, yeah. I think like yeah. Thanks for the feedback. Yeah, we'll update the form after this meeting.
Okay. And if the kid is not able to attend some of the sessions, will the recording be shared with the kid?
Yes, all the sessions will be recorded and will be shared only with the members in the cohort.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Will there be any flexibility in changing the timings?
Well, that's actually like we are looking at like Luis is in Toronto. He's actually 3 hours ahead of us. Okay.
I see.
And
Okay.
weekdays, he's accommodating at 3 p.m. The reason is actually like it's a 6 p.m. for him. And yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
got it.
So
Yeah.
weekdays, these are the days works for Luis. We worked with him to see like what is the best ideal time, works for
Okay.
our time zone as well as for instructor.
Okay. Now, let's say, we sign up for the summer camp and you
Hmm.
didn't get a minimum number of participants, then,
We will refund the money. We'll refund
okay,
it.
so it's okay. But we still have an option if we want to do the weekend learning, but yeah, it'll be
Yes,
like for 18 weeks.
that's right.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. If there are no other questions,
I have a comment. Srinivas, before
sure.
we move on to the next segment, can we get a count, a arbitrary count of parents who would be interested in enrolling the kids for the summer camp by raising the hands?
Okay.
Parents, can you please raise your hands if you would be most 99% making the payment by 31st? Okay.
Deepti, why don't we have it in other areas like Tri Valley?
This is
over Zoom.
this is online.
This is not in person.
No,
Like
no, summer camp.
Summer?
I'm sorry.
No, this is not about the summer camp. This is about
This course. Okay.
GenAI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So
So
we have 2 so far. Okay.
yeah, in the form, I have seen at least 7 to 8 people. They showed interest for the summer camp. Yeah, it's actually like it's better and the fastest and easiest is like by this Saturday, make the payment and submit the form. In the same form, you can edit. So that helps us actually know like who all people are seriously interested. We can close on the logistics.
So you mentioned that we can sign up for just one module also, right? Let's say we want to sign up for the second module. What would be the deadline for that one? Let's say we
So,
just sign up for module 2 right now. Module
okay.
3, we want to sign up, but we are not sure. What would we do then?
Well, actually, like, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
we can actually like doing the registration now and making the payment for like which are the tracks that you want to register will help us to plan what we can do in summer, what we cannot do.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'll look for like I'll keep you guys updated on first based on how many registration happened on 31st. Okay.
And sorry, just last thing, I know people are asking about the timing, things like that. And again, once we have a good number confirmed and really people are really looking at 4 p.m. versus 3, and we can do a quick survey to see which one actually accommodates the most students. And I'll see how that I can accommodate my schedule around that.
Thanks, Luis. Okay, let's jump to like we have 27 minutes to cover like GenAI cohort 3 also. Luis, go ahead.
Okay, so again, this is more of a basic training for individuals. Again, this is for the Ella course of GenAI 101. This is the course we already taught 2 times already to more than 30 individuals each time. So again, we're going to go through a full detail of what GenAI is and really understanding how it works. So again, a lot of these GenAI courses that you see online talk about, again, click and play. I actually bring it back down, and the point of this course is how to break down how LLMs work, what's an LLM, and what do they do. So if you go to the next slide, is how we're sort of defining that journey. So I believe in this slide, we talked about where we are in terms of that journey. So GenAI 101 for the adult course is this 101 course that we talk about. So what is generative AI, API access, what is prompt engineering, what are RAGs, how to build GenAI architectures, and we do a capstone project at the end. We also just finished 102, which is our business series of actually how to use AI for business. The next step from this is AI 103, which we're doing advanced RAGs, advanced evaluations, and different cloud infrastructures. Then we go to 104. And this is really the sort of the curriculum we've developed for the community and learning more about AI. So the goals of the GenAI 101 training is for those who have joined to understand have a fundamental knowledge of how GenAI works. So what are LLMs? How are LLMs composed of? What's really understanding of how they really are they really just magic boxes of autocorrect versus are they actually thinking behind the hood? You might hear the terms prompt engineering, RAGs, agents, vibe coding, MCP, ATA. These are new terms that people are throwing out. Understanding what those terms mean, how do LLMs play a part in these terms, and are they really just hype or not? The next one is we're going to learn about actually deploying real-world Gen AI applications using APIs from Google. We develop real applications such as chatbots, chains of thoughts, promptings, etc. And we actually sit down and we open our browsers and we actually use the codes that are there to really understand what's happening. The end of the project is that everyone's sort of responsible of creating a capstone project for themselves. So let's say you want to know how to create your own chatbot. You'll be given the code through GitHubs of how to do examples of how to develop a chatbot. You'll then input the APIs that you'll be receiving during the class and be able to change the system prompts and be able to change different things to sort of accommodate and create sort of your own creations. And that's really the purpose of the goal is how can we empower you to create your own GenAI applications, because it's nice that you can use ChatGPT, you can use Claude, you can use Gemini, ask questions, but really what's the brain behind it, and how can you customize that coding that's happening behind and develop something that's helping you, and that's really the purpose of the GenAI 101 training goals. So again, what you'll learn is the basic LLMs, prompts, tokenization. So you'll probably see the word tokens, things like that. Again, what does those terms mean? How they apply to LLMs? Understanding what prompt engineering. What is that really just asking it what you need? Is it really what are the best techniques of doing prompt engineering? What is a RAG? The first time have you heard that terminology? Is retrieval augmented generations, adding PDFs to an LLM and using that knowledge from the PDFs to answer questions. How do you get it to not hallucinate? How do you get it to not say things that it shouldn't say based off those PDFs? Understanding how to develop better RAGs or how to develop better chatbots using these architectures, and how to build a UI that people can interact with, right? So this is all that comes in through the different weeks. It's 6 weeks projects. Each week we develop 2 hours deep dive into each one. So again, we go at a high pace, and we also give the high coding, and we just sit back and ask questions. And there are some quizzes that we do during the classes, and giving the code to really understand what's going on. Next slide, please. So how it works is week 1 is introduction to GenAI. I will give sort of prerequisite videos to watch. Again, you don't have to come in saying, I know everything about AI. If you're basically brand new and you heard that AI is happening and you really want to get your feet wet and understand, okay, AI is happening, but I need to understand what this means. This course is exactly what it's meant for. We break down what is AI. We go through the history. We go showing what is an LLM made of, and break down each of the pieces down, and how it all works. Next one is we receive API access to LLMs, and actually work on our first one of our first chatbot QAs, and have it up and running. Next, the following week, we'll learn about prompt engineering and RAG systems, what they do. Then we switch to code, and we actually show how to actually upload PDFs and use a chatbot to build that out. Week 4, how we can develop different AI architectures. We learn about governance. We learn about risk. We learn about how you actually can save information, actually how to build a team to actually deploy something in through your work or through something at your personal at home. Week 5, again, we talk about those as well. Oops, sorry, we just fast forward 3 slides. And then week 6 again is the capstone project. Week 5 will sort of be nudging you to saying, hey, have you thought of something that you want to implement yourself, right? Let's say you're at work and you're thinking, hey, what if I used AI for this? Maybe that could be bettering the flows. In the previous 2 cohorts, a lot of people had ideas of, okay, I work using logs. How can I use AI to improve my workspace? Or how can I use AI to check versioning? Or how can I use AI to do this? And a lot of people brought their own problems they see at work, and they were saying, okay, how can I apply AI to this? And how can I do this myself? And a lot of people who are very curious were able to implement themselves. I also seen someone who implemented their own AI agent, in the sense that they had people ask questions and they wanted to feed to a Google Sheet. They wanted to know how to do that. So although we may not be touching specific use cases in class, they took advantage of the office hour, and then the office hour every week would sit down, they would show me their code and say, hey, Luis, how could I do this? Or, hey, Luis, what are some tips for me I'm working on this AI project. How can I move from A to B? And they really took advantage of the office hours to learn more, or they ask questions like, hey, Luis, what's MCP A2A? And we would take the office hours to sit down and talk about these new terminologies and these new AI upfronts, and have discussions about those new capabilities, right? So the whole point of this GenAI 101 is to give you a good, solid understanding of what is GenAI, how to build your own chatbots or build your own agents with chain of thought reasoning, and how you can actually use it to your own project, and how you would want to showcase that. So again, the first couple sessions, the first 2 sessions will be a little bit more heavy on my side, because I would have to teach you more about the basic foundations, terminology, the instructions, the statistics behind everything. Then after the first 2 sessions, we switch to only a 30% presentation. Then we go straight to coding, and we run line to line. You can stop during the questions, ask questions about, okay, we're modifying this. Or we have another session where I give you 3 or 4 notebooks, and we work with teams to run them and be able to understand and edit the system prompts to understand what's happening behind them. So again, the whole point of this is to understand and work together. Yeah, we can switch. The last thing I talked about was that capstone project. So again, you can choose your own chatbot, could be a RAG, could be an agent, or a custom project, have sort of a front end. I give you the code to build a front end, so you don't have to worry about building a front end yourself, but something that you can develop and show individuals, hey, this is my issue, this is my problem, and this is how I was able to solve it. And we give you feedback and how you can always improve it. And that's really the goal of the project, is to empower the individuals who's taking this course to be able to actually build something with AI rather than having a UI interface that you're simply just asking for. So again, what's the commitment I expect from the students to take this class? I know sometimes that life gets busy. You won't be able to attend every single meeting or attend every single office hour, but it's really important to really get caught up in the videos. I go through a lot of technical parts. I think the first class is the one that's most rewatched on YouTube. We had this class, and the first class is the most rewatched one because we go deeper into how an LLM is constructed, all the attention layers and everything that's part of it. But again, how is that necessary? It's because when you go into prompt engineering and you go to the next week courses, everything builds off of it. Now you know, okay, if I say this word, this is gonna get more attention. So therefore, when I write this prompt, I should be using these type of words or this type of format because that's how the model works. Everything sort of built. Once you know prompt engineering, then you can know about RAG, then you can modify and improve the performance of your RAG using prompt engineering, and then you go on so forth as you continue on the class. So this is where you can, if you attend one and then you miss one, you attend the other one, you sort of, if you're not catching up or missing that key foundation that we build on each class and get the most out of it. So again, your commitment is to attend as best as you can. If you can't attend a day, please all of it will be recorded, so you can review and watch it. And if you have any questions, the office hours is there every single week. We have a class, so you can attend the office hours. Hey, Luis, I watched the class. I missed this part, but I didn't really understand this part. Can you explain it? And that's really what the office hours are for questions about the class and be able to explain concepts that you probably may have not gotten from the previous week. Again, the key part of this is for you to be engaged. I will be giving you code so you can learn to do the basics, but you need to build on that code, right? If you're thinking about creating a capstone project for yourself, you need to then say, okay, how can I modify this chatbot to be something I need to use? So again, it'll take some time for you to maybe like a Saturday morning after class or in the evening or Sunday, work on something that you can start building yourself and having fun with. And don't worry about technology, things like that. When you start getting to the course, even if you have an old laptop, if you have something you can't really use, it's fine. You can use a browser and you can use Google Studio and you can run all your codes in there. So you don't have to worry about having the state-of-the-art machine to be able to join it and use the codes for this. You can switch to the next. So again, when we get to the coding part, it is about using Python. So it's definitely hard for someone who doesn't know coding at the first time or this is the first time you're looking at it. Doesn't mean that you can't catch up because again, I mean, the first 2 weeks is learning more about the concepts, understanding everything, and you can sort of catch up on what are the basics of Python, but it's good to have a beginner knowledge in programming in order to start building things yourself, right? It'll also be a little bit confusing for you to work with. Again, you should have some understanding of some concepts like what are data sets, what are workflows, typically things that you see in ML. So again, I'll give you some pre-prep material. There's some YouTube videos that will give you a quick overview for those who already know or those who are getting your feet wet. A quick YouTube videos to really capture and gather those concepts before we start our first class. So all you need, like I said before, is computer access and internet. You don't have to worry about having the best laptop or anything like that. You can use Google. We can use Google Colab, which only works in a browser, and you don't have to worry about bogging down your system. We'll be using Google Colab's notebooks, or you can use Python, basically whatever you want, and we'll be using an API, and which will give you full instructions how to use in the Get knowledge as well. So that's all the requirements that's asked for. I think the majority of this is more of an eagerness to learn, be able to understand that AI isn't scary at all, how we can sort of break down the basics and make you understand all the basic fundamentals of this, right? Like I said before, we had run this course 2 times already with over 60 students, including both cohorts, and in the end, everyone seems to be very happy and satisfied with the amount of attention, the amount of experience and technical expertise that coming from this. And we take all the feedback we get from the first cohort, we add it to the second, and we keep adding and we keep improving the course using the feedbacks we get from the courses. So we're really happy where we are with that. So I think that's the end of the slides. I think, Srinivas, and yeah, unless you want to go through the details.
Yeah. So the cohort 3, our plan is to start on 8th June, which is next Saturday, and it goes all the way till like 13th July. This is a 6 weeks program, and the trainings are like 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. PST time on Saturdays, and the office hours are like Wednesdays at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. So again, for adult track also complete your payment by 31st May. That is this Saturday. That gives us actually like officers some time to take care of the logistics. So the gel payment details are there in the registration form. And yeah, someone was asking like the sessions will be recorded and shared with all the registered members. Yeah, I think those are the ones. Any questions now?
Yeah, I have a question.
Mhm.
So instead of Python, like I am well versed with Java, so is that okay, or I need to have basic knowledge of Python?
So the reason why you'll see some of this, a lot of the GenAI packages and most of that stuff is meant only for Python. You can work with me during the office hours to see how we can enable this using Java, and we can do examples of using Java that well during the office hours. So if you feel like that Python is too much, I do have some experience in Java that we can work together and see if we can develop something.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, someone
Actually,
asked,
I joined late. Is the same schedule for high schoolers and then one same for adults?
you're on mute, Srinivas, if you're talking.
High schoolers, we mentioned it starts on 15th June, the following week. 15th or 17th, yeah, one of the day. So, but 8th June is when actually like 101 cohort 3 starts.
Oh, okay. Sorry, maybe I'm mixing up. I joined. So then for high schoolers, when does it end?
High schoolers, in the previous slides, it is there. So let me quickly go. You can. Uh, okay, here if you see 16th June it starts. Swami, you have any further questions on this?
Yeah. No, thank you. Actually, I'm just okay. Thank you so much. Yes.
Okay. I think someone else was asking question. I think Divya, you have a question on chat.
Yes. Hi. So just wanted to know, I don't have a tech background or a computer background. So will it, but I still am interested to learn about AI. So I just wanted to know what kind of course can I enroll? Or is this the right course to enroll?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So I try to put everything on PowerPoint in terms of definitions, images, things like that. I try to break down every single concept in a very way that you don't have to have a tech background. So you can understand what's working, what's happening. And again, if you feel like it's too over your head, you can come with me at the office hours that we have at Wednesdays. And you say, at least like you talked about, let's say an attention layer in LLMs, what does that mean? And I can sit down with you and have those discussions, right? So again, there's a difference between doing Coursera and having those technical courses that will still go technical. I'll be able to break down and explain concepts in a more one-on-one basis with you.
Okay, thank you. And just one other question. So is this the beginning course which we need to take if at all we want to use AI for business or AI for other stuff like video editing and other stuff?
So if you go back to the cycle, maybe that can help.
Sorry, I missed the initial part.
So what we're trying to do is GenAI is actually just to build you the basics, right? So understanding what is AI, what is LLMs, understanding definition. Someone saying, "Oh, I need a chatbot." Like, okay, how do you build one? Or So once you understand like which one each one it takes and understanding what team it takes, everything like that, 102 is to say it's an optional course. You don't have to take 102 to go 103. But 102, we just did this course was about, okay, how do we now apply this to business? How can I create a business case to my boss that I can use an AI, that we can use AI for this? Or how can we how can I do AI literacy for my team if I have a team of individuals that need to be brought up to speed with AI? Or how can we what are the pitfalls of using AI in business, right? So again, this is more for those who want to use more of a business strategic outlook, whether their own business or their own enterprise. 102 is made for that. Now, 103 builds on 101 in terms of coding, and that's when you get deeper into, okay, multimodal models, which is imaging, how we can do advanced, how we can do RAGs that take care of images and take care of words at the same time. Those type of things. So we get to that deeper level into 103.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, there are a few questions getting asked on 103. I just want to clarify. This orientation is only for 101 for adults, and machine learning and AI summer camp, as well as like post summer camp, the separate option, right? We have called it out. So this orientation is for that only. So for 103, the orientation we will have like sometime late summer and or at the end of the summer. So because the 103 is going to start after the summer. So we are still figuring it out, the dates when we can start and all of those. We'll let you guys know. Okay. But for 101, it's a cohort 3, it is starting now. And there is no actually cohort planned post summer for 101. The idea is like we have 3 cohorts. From these 3 cohorts, we will funnel in some people or like whoever is interested to take further into 103. So these are the people actually like we want to take it to 103. But somebody who is already an expert in or like knows about the basics of GenAI, they can join 103, right? We'll talk that at the end of the summer. Okay.
The reason why we're doing 101 again is because there's so much interest again on GenAI 101. So we're thinking about going to 103 because we already have 60 individuals who already done the 101, and we already have doing two, like let's do 103, but there seems to be so much more interest in the 101. So we decided to do, okay, let's do one more 101 before we jump to the next level. We can funnel in from there.
Okay. The forms actually like both the forms. So any of the officers, can you paste the link because I'm sharing. I don't have the links handy. But yeah, both the forms will paste it here for high schoolers as well as for adults, 101 cohort 3. Yeah, otherwise I can stop sharing and I can. So the flyer that you have received has all the links. Okay. Any other questions from anyone? All right. If there are no other questions, go ahead.
One other question. So, for people who might be doing a little bit of research and things like that in ML, right? Like the kids, would it be okay to um, use office hours and then try to get the clarification on the problems which they are trying to solve? Louis, that's a question for you.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand the question. So you're saying, is it okay if they use the office hours at the kids' summer camp to use for questions that they're trying to resolve themselves, or for?
Yeah, so basically, they might be doing projects outside, right? Apart from the one which you are teaching. If there is any ML problems which they're trying to solve, and then we are stuck in anything, would open hours um, work for those kind of things as well? Or is
Oh,
it supposed to be only the ones which are being taught during the
yeah,
class?
100%, right? So it's just like how we have it here and the GenAI 101s, where if there was no one who had questions and you had an open questions, you have me booked for the whole hour. So if you have a question you want to use or something, people have questions about ML, that's anything that's related to ML AI, I'd be glad to help and give support and give some pointers out.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, I pasted all the registration links in the chat as well. And you can go to the community or like any of the WhatsApp groups. So these links were published as part of the flyer as well. And like I mentioned, like you can reach out to any officers or like the founders or anyone. So we are happy to help. All right. If there are no other questions, thank you, Luis. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, everyone.
Thank you.